Hi, Lynda Meikle here, your garden coach. And today I want to talk to you about drought-tolerant plants for our Northern California climate. Many people think you only have to stick with California natives if you want a real low-water, drought-tolerant garden, but that's not the case. There are many great Australian plants from where I come from that do well in our climate and bloom at different times of the year. So it's nice to have some blooming things in winter when the rest of the garden is a little bit dormant, and there's these beautiful plants from Australia that look good all year and bloom at different times. South African plants are also good because it's the same climate zone. So many different choices to keep it low water, and let me show you a few of the specific plants that I want to talk to you about today, the Australian ones. So this is a grevillea called Coastal Gem, and it's a low ground hugger. Now this is a fairly new plant I just put in this spring. It's going to get a good 3 feet spread, but only about 12 to 18 inches high. It blooms in the winter around February. And it's a really nice, if you want to put it with boulders. I've done it with dry creek beds. So it's a really nice ground-hugging grevillea. Come with me, I'll show you more. This is a plant called Korea Wind's Wonder. It's a variegated form. It also comes in green. It also tends to get pretty wide and not too high. It can take some sun, some afternoon shade. So under the shade of trees, dappled would be great for the afternoon sun and shade. It has tubular blooms in the winter. Once again, Australian plants bloom. A lot of Australian plants bloom in the winter, and it comes in different colors, but this particular one is a dusky rose pink, long tubular blooms that hummingbirds like. This is another really nice plant. It's a grass from Australia, and it's called Lamandra Breeze. It doesn't get too big. It looks good summer and winter. It can take the heat in our Northern California climates. It has a little bit of a flower, but it's not too showy. It's just a nice texture change. So with things like these ground covered carpet roses, with moundy, it's always good to have strappy, different foliage texture. This is a nice, well-behaved grass. I recently redid these pots at the front of this house. These are Franklin Wright pots, so I wanted to do something kind of keeping it contemporary and Mediterranean. So I chose this Kangaroo Paw. It's the red Kangaroo Paw called Big Red. And all summer it will be blooming. When it's done blooming, you cut it back, they'll keep on blooming. Simple underneath is a ground cover called Biden's, and it's just going to kind of grow over the pot, but keeping it simple and really can take the afternoon sun. Kangaroo Paw is a really good one from Australia. One more Australian plant I want to talk to you about is Westringia. It's called Australian Rosemarie because it kind of looks like rosemary. It's got small, very grey-green leaves that could take the full sun here in California and Australia. And it blooms white. There is a variation that is a light lavender, but this one is white. And I liked the difference in texture between this grass that the client had and this rosemary I just put in this spring. It'll get about the same size as this grass, and it blooms throughout the year, but mainly in spring. So this Australian Westringia is going to complement the grass well. And even in the front here, I've put some airy Salvia chiapensis in. So it all blends in well, and they're all low water need plants. And the last one I want to talk to you about is this plant called Salvia. It's called Australian Bluebells, and they have these beautiful, very dainty little blue flowers. It's a shrub that can just kind of be an informal ground cover, or it can grow up. If you have a fence behind it or a trellis, it can grow up, and you can actually see the little bluebells better. But it's a nice plant. It can take sun, shade. It does like a bit of afternoon shade rather than the full cooking sun, but it can take the heat. And it's a very good drought-tolerant Australian plant, once again. So finishing up, I'm here now with some dahlias. and some salvia. This one's called black and blue. It's also a good one to mix in with all the Mediterranean plants we're doing for low water needs. So I hope you have enjoyed your tour of Australian plants, and stay tuned for more. Lynda Meikle, your garden coach.